Okay, good evening, folks, and welcome back to Suzerain. It's good to be back in old Swordland. Hello, D21 Cupboard. Yes, I am fashionably late. I've got a good excuse, though. The excuse is I've had my dinner. I was just finishing off my dinner because I thought I want an uninterrupted session today. No breaks for eating, nothing. You just sit down at 7:30 and give it a good old blast. Keep the flim-flam to a minimum today. We're going to make good progress. But have fun on the way, of course. How was my day? My day was pretty good. Let's get to the less dramatic music, shall we? So it's a bit more peaceful as I'm talking. Nagisa, good to see you again. How are you doing? How's the language learning going? Come on, game. Why are you taking so bloody long? This is not the 1980s, you know, where games took ages to load, and I'm talking like half an hour. Put your cassette tape in, set it off running on the old Amstrad, wait half an hour, oh, the game's loaded. Or worse, oh, the game's crashed. Midway through loading. Oh well, start the process again, shall we? So yeah, my day's been good. My day's been pretty decent. I went to the office first thing, bright and early Monday morning, straight out the door, boom. Arrived at the office at 7:10. We had new starters, new trainees starting today, as I said yesterday. So I had to get all their systems set up and, you know, make sure they're all on the right track and all that kind of jazz. So quite busy with that this morning. Then we had a letter writing session, which I tuned into late because I was doing all the admin for the new starters. So my other training manager colleague, I said, you go to letter writing session and I'll do all admin for the staff, but I'll come to the letter writing a bit later. Checked into the letter writing, put my headset on, headset died, battery died, wireless, no means to charge it, so I had to listen to the meeting with it playing out of the speakers in the office, which went down well, but hey, sorry people, can't do what else. And I'm the manager, so I'll do what I want. So I had to have it put it right quiet, but I couldn't interact with the session very well because I had to have it right low, the volume to not disturb too many people, which was a bit of a pain. But anyway, that went well enough. The trainees were engaged with it and stuff. So that came out of that. I'm also working a case. I think I mentioned it before that I'm working a case as a trainee case for my trainees that just started that had finished their e-learning, giving them a live case to work. So they could do all the investigation, look at it, and see all the practicalities of what you have to do to investigate the complaint. So I said, you do that, and then I'll work it. I've not worked on for a little while, of course. I'll work it, and then we'll see if we came to the same conclusions. The only caveat is I'll have to work it, then finish it, and write a letter to the customer, and then finalise it all as well. A bit of a pain, but hey, all for assisting the trainees. So I finalised my investigation on that this morning as well, so just a couple of things to tidy up on that. Got the information back that I requested. Finished my investigation notes, put that on the system, told the two trainees that I've now finished my investigation, compare yours against mine and we'll talk about it tomorrow. So I did all that, and I thought to myself, oh, it's 1 o'clock. Oh, lovely. I'll be going home at 1:30 to finish my day at home because I've got another meeting at 2. So it's 1 o'clock. One of my old trainees who finished training at the start of this month came running towards me, and I'm like, what the hell's happened here? Usually, nothing is that urgent in an office that you have to come running for assistance. I'm like, oh. So she came, she said, oh, you don't mind if I... What's the problem? So-and-so's collapsed in the women's toilets. I said, excuse me? Just run that past me again. Collapsed. Oh dear. Yeah, so somebody collapsed. Collapsed is probably a strong term. She was suffering severe lower abdominal pain, so she sat down because she was in agony, and you know that she didn't really collapse, if you want to be technical about it. But they didn't know that at the time, of course. Just saw her sat on the bathroom, ladies' toilets floor. So anyway, I said, oh God, well, I said, it's the ladies' toilet, so unless she's like unconscious or seriously ill, I don't really want to go barging into the ladies' toilets. If she is seriously ill or requires immediate assistance, then I'll lock the toilets down. It's not a problem. This is not a ladies' toilet anymore. This is a scene. But just go check on her, because there was somebody else with her as well. And ask her, is she fine? What's the situation? Does she need first aid? Does she need an ambulance? And then report back to me very quickly, please. Anyway, she came back very quickly and said, oh no, she just needs first aiders. Okay, that's fine. So I don't need to go into the ladies' toilets at the moment. So I rung the security desk downstairs and requested a first aider, which they did literally poof within seconds of me making the call, which was very good of them. And then apparently a first aider went running to the scene literally within a minute of me making that call. So that was very efficient too. I did feel kind of bad in some respects, because at no point did I ever go anywhere near the scene. Thought, no, it's under control. The first aiders are there. She's got 2 people with her, plus the first aiders now as well. I'll deal with everything afterwards. All the how you doing and all that kind of jazz. Get yourself off. Get yourself rested. Ring in tomorrow if you can't make it. We'll understand. Do all the aftercare bit. What else can you do? I'm not trained in first aid. As if I'm going to run into a lady's toilets to administer first aid. Unless, as I say, unless it's life-threatening, she's passed out unconscious. I don't care if I've not done first aid. I've done first aid in the past, and as a police officer, I'll administer first aid as best I could remember if it's that urgent. But if she's up, she's speaking, I'll just put the call in. Do my bit. Anyway, so she came out of the toilets within about 10 minutes. Her husband also works in the office. He came to see her, and then she went home. So I was like, oh, it's another day in paradise. And the thing is, it sounds really, maybe a bit nonchalant perhaps, I don't know. But obviously it was the big office drama. Everybody was just panicking, and I'm just sat there calm as a cucumber, and it's like, what's all the fuss about? But then, if you've done a job like I have done in the past, where you come across emergencies all the time, it wasn't that much of a major issue for me. Calm under pressure, I think is the term. Calm under pressure. Unless it's one of your own loved ones and it's completely different. Calmness goes out the flipping window then. But anyway, so yeah, it wasn't great for her, bless her. Oh, my microphone's spun around. But she got home safely. I'm not a manager. I was just the manager that happens to be around at the time. So yeah, reported it to my manager, said, oh, just by the way, so-and-so's collapsed, just letting you know, I'll feed back to your report and give you the update and the outcome very shortly. Praised my boss of the situation. Because her manager should be back tomorrow, so I'll have to give her the rundown as well. So yeah, that was the high drama of the day. It doesn't happen all the time, clearly, so it was a little bit different from the norm. And to be fair, when I reflected on the event, again from a selfish point of view, I thought to myself, don't get me wrong, I enjoy my job now, office-based, working from home, 60% attendance, and managing staff, coaching people, engaging, talking, having a grand old time. It is actually work, but I do enjoy it. I do miss the cut and thrust of emergency. Getting that call on the radio, there's a burglary, drop all your food as you're eating it, boom, let's get out of here, come on, we're off. That kind of immediate kind of, woof, let's get this sorted, kind of thing. When I reflected after the event, I did think to myself, I kind of do miss that a little bit. Do miss a bit of high drama, or that kind of unexpectedness at work. It's not really unexpected in an office job. You see a few new things here and there, but nothing's really that shocking, immediate. Everything can be done tomorrow, really, Oh, I've got this problem. Okay, we'll deal with that tomorrow. I'm busy today, unfortunately. It's not life and death, is it? If you've not done that. Whereas actually somebody collapsing, that could be life and death until you've got the situation assessed properly. But anyway, staying alive, just it was Nelly the elephant when we did our training. Nelly the elephant. But as the trainer said, I'll never forget it. Whatever you do, don't hum it in a real life situation. Nelly the elephant. That's my father. Don't do that, it's not good. Just the rhythm bit. Anyway, good to see you all. Welcome. That's enough flim flam now. 15 minutes. Well, less than that, 10 because I was late. So, right, we're going to crack on with Swordlands Affairs, where, of course, collapsing is the least of our concerns. If somebody collapsed and that was all we had to deal with, we'll be quite happy as the president. Fortunately, it's not quite that simple. We've got Rumberg situations, alliances to form, constitutions to pass, you know, all that kind of jazz. It's not quite as simple as dealing with a collapsed person, is it? But anyway, right. Where are we? Now, did I check all these out? Yeah, we read all these last time. I remember that one. I remember that as well. A radical journalist was killed while trapped. They shouldn't write such claptrap in their paper. It's probably a disgruntled reader that's been slandered. We need an event for positive government budget. Yeah, that event is called Our Sacking. Best thing that ever happened to our economy was getting rid of that rain fella. Gendarmerie police issues. That's because we just took it over. We transferred it from the military to the Ministry of Defence, so there's a bit of a bedding in period going on. We'll let that happen for a couple of months, and then if it's still not sorted, we're going to get onto Lilius and kick her ass, because clearly she's slacking. She wanted the police, the gendarmerie, we should say, under her control. She's got them. Make sure they run efficiently, love. You know what I mean? Come on now. That's all we ask of you. Walker wins our case in the election. We saw that was a load of geopolitical mumbo jumbo in the papers here. And Helliland, tensions rising. Yet again, I seem to recall we ended last time, and I haven't checked this, I'm just guessing, kind of memory bank situation, that we were going to do something with the family. I seem to recall is where we ended last time. A family event, maybe kicking Peter's ass because he failed his exams. No, it's not the end of the world, as we said to him. Ah, it is something to do with... Oh, he's off to the army. Oh. Yes, because we refused to pull our strings as president to get him into university, because that was not setting a good example. The disappointing thing was that we actually told him that we were going to do it initially, and we changed our minds. So we kind of got his hopes up and then brought them crashing down. That was the only mistake of that conversation. We stick to our guns. You failed your exams, therefore, sorry, Peter, but you're not going to. Is that son called Peter? I'm just making that up. He's not off to university. You're not off to university. Didn't get the grades. Sorry, that's life. Can't expect your father to pull you out of the fire every time, you know. Good job we pumped the military full of funding. I know Peter's the vice president. What's our son called? So Cloudy, we forgot the name of our... We never forget the name of our daughter. She's apple of our eye, old Dina. That's because my brother's called Dean, so it's easy to remember. Not Dina, of course. Dean. Prince Harry flopped his A-levels. Did he? Oh, I didn't know that. See? It's not stopped him, has it? I mean, my son's not a prince, but son of a president, still. A cloudy, rainy day in Holsword. Oh, it's a cloudy, rainy day here, too. The gloomy weather couldn't dampen my spirits. My constitutional reforms had passed in court. I had won. Oh, of course! I thought we were still waiting for that, but we actually got the reforms passed in court. Yes, the constitution went ahead. Yes, everything changed, and our powers have been reduced. And I remember saying, now for the rest of our campaign, or our term rather, we're going to see if we have shot ourselves in the foot and any of our constitutional reforms actually hinder us. That'll be interesting. I want to veto that. It's clearly a ludicrous bill. No. The Assembly don't agree with you, sir. They've not got the required amount of votes. Like, what? Are you kidding me? It's your fault. You asked for this. Yeah, it's democratic. Oh, Frank, Peter. Frank, that's the fella. Frank is leaving home. I don't think it's excitement. Who's looking forward to this? He's going to the army. The underfunded, soon-to-be assaulted by Rumberg army. Full of conscriptionites. I'd be absolutely bricking it if it was my child. My son piled the last of his bags next to the door. Sergei and the assistant driver were waiting outside next to the car. Assistant driver? Has Sergei always had an assistant driver? Or has he had an upgrade recently? A promotion? We're giving you an assistant, Sergei. For navigation purposes. No greater honour than serving his country. You tell yourself that, champ. You tell yourself that. Great honour when he's in a grave. My wife's chewing my ear off, blaming me. Marriage breaks down. Dina's a wreck. You'll remember that, yeah? Did you pack everything? Don't forget to give me a call immediately after you arrive. Yes, Mum, yes. I'm thinking, I'm all packed. Stop fussing, will you? Monica helped him put his backpack on, while Sergei started carrying the luggage to the car. I made you a sack lunch. I'll get it from the kitchen. Sack lunch? Is that like a Eastern European thing? Because here we call it a packed lunch, or packed lunch, rather. Either or, to be fair. An interesting term. I've never heard of that before. Sack lunch. She dashed down the hall. Frank and I turned to face each other in the doorway. So I guess this is it. Yes, it is. Frank, Peter, Frank. Yes, that's about. There's no trying to pull no heartstrings now. A brown paper bag. Hopefully not a big cloth sack. That's a big lunch. Oh, last little tale for the day, actually, before we carry on. Then we'll carry on. No more ramble, I'm sorry. I say that. So I did say that. The reason why I was a little bit late to this stream today was because I was eating my dinner. I finished my dinner just a little bit after past. Got my dinner from downstairs. Got it in my hands. Run up the stairs with my dinner. Umpteen times a week. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. I go down, get it, come up, or I go down and make it myself occasionally, I'm capable. Come upstairs with it. And I don't go upstairs, usually, I'm the kind of person that doesn't go anywhere sedately. Not a sedate moving kind of person. I'm active, football, exercising, so when I'm walking about, I walk with a stride and a purpose, and even when I've got my dinner in my hand, I'm hungry, I'm coming up the stairs, not running, but up the stairs pretty swiftly, not one step at a time, come on, no, there's none of that nonsense, it's up the steps we're going. So I've done that perfectly fine for many a times, many a month, many a year even, I think, until today, when I was coming upstairs with my dinner. Now, D21, you asked what my dinner was, and it was, my mum had made some lovely little homemade, kind of like KFC style chicken breast bites. So dice a chicken breast, dust it, egg wash it, southern fried, breadcrumbed it, and fried them. So kind of like, southern fried chicken bites basically. With some chips and some beans with sausages in. And a homemade dip. And she'd also gone off tangent a little bit and also battered some spam. Just on the side, Just on the, thrown that in as an added extra for you. Bloody hell, saturated fat alert, Good evening, Martian Eyes, welcome. So as I got to the top step, shuffling up at a decent pace with my slippers on, which I'm blaming the slippers here, I lost my footing and fell with the plate in my hand of food. And as I went down, I was processing this. It happened very quickly, but it felt like it was slow motion because I was processing the information, and my processing was, for heaven's sake, keep your hands level as you fall. So if I'd have fallen on my face, on my side, I was trying to ensure that the plate didn't tip and spill the whole dinner all over the shop. because that would have been game over. Dinner wasted. So I fell forward, and the plate was like in the air. And I managed to save it, apart from about half the beans splashed on the floor. Half the beans went on the floor, and 2 chips. 2 lonely chips just flew off. But the rest of the dinner, I'd saved it. So my mum came dashing out. What's happening? So, for God's sake, Mother, I just tripped on the step. She went, where's the dinner gone all over? I said, no, just a few beans. So, yeah, got the cloth out, wiped it up. No stains on the carpet, thankfully. So that was a bit of a tumble. But yeah, it was just kind of hilarious. I actually did manage to. You try next time you know what you try it. Taking a plate of food, full plate of food. You've seen my plates of food; they're never half empty. They're always chocked full. And you try tripping up the steps, falling face first downwards, and salvaging the plate so it does not tip all the food all over. I think I did well. I think I did well there. At no point did the plate leave my hand. Anyway, we've left Frank hanging for long enough. He's still waiting expectantly. What's he thinking about? He's taken 10 minutes to think about this, is he? Gonna let me stay after all this? I know the military wasn't your first choice, but it's for your own good. That seems a bit preachy, really, but... We could laugh it off a bit, crack a bit of a joke. Hope they'll teach you how to be a better shot than me. You know what? We're going to play it light-hearted. I think I'll like this option, actually. Light-hearted, bit of fun. I don't want to appear preachy. He knows what he's done. He knows where he's going. He doesn't need me to rub his nose in it. If you see refugees, let them through. Exactly. That wouldn't be hard. I remember our one hunting trip. Oh, no. Oh, look at this. He's reminiscing about a hunting trip now. Now, that does play on my heartstrings. I mean, I don't like... That's an awful thing to say, I don't like kids, but I don't want kids, clearly. And usually kids are in the way whenever I'm going anywhere. Bless their little hearts. But, you know... Ultimately, I'm a caring person, and this tugs on the old heartstrings a bit. Oh yes, that hunting trip that we won't be going on for a little while because he's not going to be here. Oh, he shifted his weight nervously. Stop it. I haven't forgotten what you told me about your university years. I hope the army gives me a chance to prove myself the same way you did. Yeah, don't model your life on me, Frankie old boy. You are your own man now. Forge your own path. Frank smiled. All right, Dad. It's not my child and it's a game, but I actually feel quite, oh, this is quite bad. I could just picture myself saying goodbye to my own child that's going to the army. I'd be an emotional wreck, honest to God. At that moment, Dina rushed to the door. She's probably blubbering. Oh, Dina, stop it. Frank! I'm going to miss you. I'll miss you too. Don't forget you've got to give Mum and Dad an extra hard tie for both of us now. Dina nodded. Okay. Frank picked up his sister and gave her a big hug. Monica appeared in the doorway holding a paper bag. Oh, sack of lunch. Nah, that's uncanny, isn't it? I cut the crusts off your sandwich just the way you used to like. I say it's uncanny because I don't like crusts on my sandwiches either. I don't cut them off. I can't be bothered. I just eat round them. So she wanted him ridiculed by the other soldiers. Hey, look. I'm sure many people don't like crusts. It's a common problem, I'm sure. Who likes crusts on bread? I mean, unless it's crusty bread, sliced bread with crusts on. Nah. Dry, chewy, no. So much so that was it Warburton's or Hovis actually brought out crustless sliced bread. I don't know if they still do it or if it was like a dive or it didn't work out as well as they'd hoped, but they did at one point do crustless sliced bread. I never bought any. Because do you know why? Because they charge you a premium. It's convenience. Don't want to cut your own crusts off? Pay an extra £1 a loaf. Why not? No thanks, I'll eat round my crusts like I always do, thank you. I think it was Warburton's, they don't do it anymore. Yeah, I've not seen it for a little while. I'm not a kid anymore, Mum. I know you're not, son, but it's last... Just let her have this last moment of fussing after you. It's mother's prerogative, alright? See? Can't mother pretend, oh, Frank? She embraced him with tears in her eyes. Frank looked as if he was about to cry as well. Oh no, we're all blubbering now. I caught her glaring at me over his shoulder. I hope someday she would understand why I decided to send him away. Sergei approached. Thank God, Sergei, get us out of this predicament. Sir, Frank needs to catch the next bus to the border in order to report for basic training on time. You heard the man. We will have to leave now to make it. Thank you, Sergei. Thank you. Frank turned around and took one last look at me. Oh, Frank, don't. Don't do this to me, Frank. I'm pained as it is. See you soon. See you soon. Why not? Make me proud. That almost like might entice him to do something stupid. Something foolish. But can you imagine just saying nothing? Can you imagine? Oh my God, I can't even live with myself. I'd have to. Oh no, I can't live with myself. No, don't make me proud. Yeah. I don't really like a demanding thing. Make me proud, boy. You will make me proud. Like just kind of a. You got this kind of thing. Frank nodded before heading to the car. Sergei looked at his watch. Time to go. Frank waved his hand as he entered the car. The engine started, and they were on their way. That is quite painful. Monica stood next to me as they drove away. Her eyes were teary. There he goes. Yes, dear. It already feels different. She put her head on my shoulder. Stroke her hair. He will be fine. Faux reassurance. I know he will. At least he has a father he can boast to his new friends about. Anton, the great reformer. Sounds good, doesn't it? We watched for a few more minutes, even after the car was no longer in sight. Uh-oh. We've got some... disputes going on here. Disputes. Probably, because it involves the Ministry of Interior and the military, it's probably about the gendarmerie. We knew we couldn't let that slip, or we would that wouldn't slip past the military's gaze for too long. But anyway, let's look at the intelligence reports first. New intelligence, upcoming meeting of BFF leaders. Okay, so due to the new channels of intelligence, a major breakthrough is reported by the security forces who have obtained highly significant intelligence regarding a clandestine meeting of the remaining leaders of the Bluish Freedom Front in outskirts of Rebel. The meeting, scheduled to take place in the coming weeks, has raised concerns among authorities due to the potential threat posed by these individuals. Preparations for a massive operation to eliminate all the BFF leaders in a single action are currently underway as security forces work diligently to ensure the safety and security of the region. This operation marks a critical step in dismantling the BFF's network and neutralising their leadership. The intelligence gathered provides valuable insight into the location and timing of the meeting, enabling security forces to plan a coordinated and effective operation. The authorities reported that they are determined to prevent any further acts of violence and ensure the protection of the citizens during the operation. Things are coming to a head. In Conriat, Val's land might be preparing for major invasion. Military intelligence has reported a massive build-up of landing vehicles and navy ships at the port of Wilburn on Val's land. Our agents are suspecting a massive naval military invasion of Heliland or Agnolia in the near future. It's not fully confirmed, as the build-up could be a mock-up exercise to divert eyes from elsewhere. Our covert agents will monitor the situation on the ground for as long as possible. Gasom financial report. What? I thought it went bankrupt. I don't know. Do we need to read that? Presidential salary increased. They passed a new law increasing the yearly salaries of elected officials, including that of the president. I've got a pay rise. I didn't ask for it, but hey, we'll take it. Why not? Choop, 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 choop. Yeah, Valgland are close with Rumburg. Right, let's check the policy shifts here. Situations. We've got dispute with the Interior. The Ministry of Defence and the Interior are currently engaged in a legal dispute over the control and jurisdiction of the Gendarmerie. Yeah, thought it was that. Course tensions. Decaying combat readiness. A lot of red in the military tab, isn't there? Dispute with the military. Yep. That's fine. Papers. The Hallsword Post. Government announces massive operation against the BFF. We saw that in the briefing. Okay, nothing untoward there. I'm just looking to see if there's any sort of political spin on these papers here. President's son to join military. Swordman's military just got a new recruit. Frank Rains, son of Anton, is selflessly foregoing a university education. Selflessly foregoing. I like it. I like that spin. Selflessly foregoing his university education in order to defend his country. Well done, Hallsword Post. I couldn't have put it better myself. It's one thing for President Rain to uphold our country's proud tradition of conscription. It's an entirely new level of patriotism to send his own son to basic training. We expect nothing short of greatness from young Frank as he enters boot camp. How much did we pay for that paper article? Government announces operation to tackle the BFF in Swordland today too. It will also be the Radical too, no doubt. With a negative spin, of course. Okay, there's nothing. Oh, Rain's son drafted. President's sons. They're just like the rest of us. 17-year-old Frank Rain has been conscripted into the military, putting an end to debates about which university would accept the young scion, a notorious dimbulb. As the president could easily have abused his power to send his son to any institution of his choosing, we'll consider this a win for ethics. And hopefully a sign that Rain Sr. won't be inciting a war anytime soon. If we ever get a choice at any part of this playthrough to shut that paper down... Oh, it's getting closed down in a flash. Oh, big flash. But what about the people's jobs? Goodbye. Should have thought about that before you've written all that tripe through the years. I've had enough of it. Geopolitical news. Hegel condemns Helluland governor and threatens intervention. Chancellor Emmerich Hegel had recently condemned the governor of Helluland in a public statement and threatened to intervene on the island to protect the people. Magnolia went too far. They are massacring our people in Helluland. If the Alliance of Nations allows this to continue, Valkland will intervene in the island to protect her people. This was the last straw, said Chancellor Hegel. Arcasian and United Contarian governments are believed to be in close contact with both leaders to calm the situation. The superpowers cannot find a solution. The Markian Sea may plunge into chaos. Okay. Let's have a look at the Gasson financial report. The state doesn't need profits. Not a single peep. We should have cut and run when we got the first option. That would have helped our budget, wouldn't it? Never mind. Discussion on the changes to the law. Lucian and I sat in my office waiting for Peter. I was at my desk, and he was on the sofa, legs crossed. Sir, I have some news for you. Mr. Hall and I have been working on several possible plans to boost the economy, as is our focus. He is currently compiling a very detailed report with suggested projects. I'll make sure you have a chance to see it soon. He looked at his watch again. It's Peter we're waiting for, Lucian. Did you expect him to be anything other than late? Yes, looks like Mr. Vice President is late yet another time. He lowered his voice. I am slightly concerned about Peter. He seems to have his mind occupied. He's been late to almost every meeting we've had recently. Yes, I noticed it too, Lucian. I shall talk to him in private. Immediately. Sometime. Now. Suddenly there was a knock at the door. Oh, definitely. And any other females that he cares to prey upon. Hedge maze shenanigans, for example. You know. Peter walks in after knocking, files in both hands. Gentlemen, why are you so late? No apologies when he's barged in the door. Well, he knocked, but he's coming, bursting after knocking, files in hands. Not so sorry. That would be the first thing that would come out of my mouth. So sorry, I'm late. Apologies about that. I probably kicked it, yeah. Why are you late, Peter? There's a large group of NFP members outside protesting the removal of sword from the Constitution. They didn't let me through easily. He placed the files on my table, took out several documents, and organised them in front of me. Here is everything, just as you asked. Our plans for our next reforms. Here are some suggested reforms. You can pass these with your decrees as you like. What are your thoughts, Anton? Let's go over the documents then. Let's take a look at the documents. You can select up to 3 decrees to enact. Why has that got a cross on it? Oh my golly gosh. Only 3? So what does it mean if it's got a red X? Does that mean it's off the table? Or does that mean that we don't have that at the moment in the law? So, well, I don't know. Purge general stat. Oh no, that can't be right. If it's a cross, we can't use it. Do you reckon? You do not have sufficient decree powers. Oh. Requires one government budget. Oh, some of them require budget too. Oh. Desolonization. Do not have sufficient decree powers. Oh dear. Allowing private... So let's have a look at the things that we... Let's not look at what we could have won. Let's look at what we have won and what we can do. Free prescription medicine. It's going to be quite expensive, that, isn't it? Requires one government budget. Prescription medicine in Swordland is partially paid by the Ministry of Health according to the importance of the medication. A new decree would allow all citizens to get their medication completely for free. Yeah. I mean, even we pay for prescriptions in this country, so, you know, if you've got to pay for your prescription, it's not the end of the... Unless you're very poor. There must be some people that can get it for free, you know, but everybody getting it for free, even people that can afford to pay, nah. Supreme Council of Swordish Radio and Television. Prescriptions are free in Scotland. We don't live in Scotland, Marsh. Nice here. Okay. I have to pay for my prescriptions. If you don't know, it bloody pains me because I've got to take them forever, don't forget. I'm on blood thinners for the rest of my life. At least I managed to convince the doctor to give me 2 boxes on one prescription because we're going to do it one at a time, which would mean £9.35 every month. I was like, no, doctor, I'm taking these forever. At least put 2 boxes on. I'm not going to overdose on them. I'm not on these by choice. And they put 2 months worth on one prescription, thankfully. So now I only have to pay £9.35 every 2 months. Bloody hellfire, another expense. Anyway, Supreme Council of Swordish Radio and Television. Freedom of speech is protected in Swordland, but with the rise of new media, private organisations gained a massive influence on society. With a new decree, we could create a government agency, the SRSC, that could protect the independence of the media or control it. What is this, the Swordish equivalent of the BBC? Should we turn Swordland into the UK or England? The SRSC. Oh, I was going to click sign there for a second. No, we don't want that. Lower retirement age. It's 65. The older voting blocks are requesting a decree. That's going to cost a lot of... Yeah, it's going to cost to fund the pensions. Swordish equivalent of Ofcom. Ofcom. Oh, right. Those people that don't tend to do it... They don't... What do Ofcom actually do? Do they actually do anything useful? Coin the term useful. Probably not. Right, no, we're not on board with that either. This is going to be very easy because I'm not signing any of them. They all cost money. Lower Fair Trade and Competition Commission. Trade and commerce in Swordland has few regulatory measures, resulting in unfair competition at times. A new Fair Trade Commission can be established via decree to push for fair market competition by protecting local industries through new regulations. That sounds alright. Can't do gender equality. Ooh, that's bad. Oh, God. Yeah, fair trade seems pretty decent. I mean, that's going to cost... I'm not happy with that either. That's... What, censorship? No. So that's all right. Capital punishment. Even if you had the choice. Oh, my God. Is that it? I want VAT. 20% too. Gives to budget. Oh, man. Removes right to own and bear arms. No. I'd have done VAT if I'd had the option. I'd have done VAT. Purge the general staff? No. Relocation of teachers and doctors to rural areas? That could have been quite handy for our education focus. Rural education institutes. We have severely hamstrung ourselves on this choice here. Oh, this is a shame because some of these are pretty cool. Right, fair trade and competition. We'll sign that one. Can we unsign it? Oh, we can't unsign it if we've already signed it. Right, never mind. So we can only do lower retirement age, which is going to cost money in the long run, and I don't see any need to lower the retirement age. In which countries have we ever heard of them lowering the retirement age? I mean, bloody hell. It probably has happened at some point, but it's going up, not down. Free prescription for all. No, not on board with that either. This is the only other one. Oh, a government agency. Protect the independence of the media or control it. Oh, these are presidential decrees. Oh, I get what you mean. So this is a decree that if I want it, it's happening. Is that what we're saying? Yeah, that is a bit almost like power mad, isn't it? Protect the or control. It's that or control it bit. I think it's a bit shady. USA has a system like this. Do they? Me in politics, I don't know English politics very well, let alone American politics or any other politics in the world. Right, okay. Okay. So, I think, in terms of what I want to bring into effect, Fair Trade and Competition Commission, the other stuff I'm not on board with. So, we'll finish on that one. Yeah. So we shuffled papers about and took notes about my decisions. Ah, yes, the Fair Trade Commission will be essential in dealing with the monopolies. It's time we established a body that regulates economic competition. Well, we both respect your decisions, Anton. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I didn't mention it out loud, but my first thought was about Mars. I couldn't figure out how it would... well, I could figure out it wouldn't be good, because he's a media man. So, you know, any kind of censorship or issues with controlling the media wouldn't be good on that front. Catch up soon. We actually have 6 more minutes. Have 6 minutes of your time back, Lucian, unless, of course, you've got something you wish to discuss that's going to take 6 precise minutes. Oh, no, you haven't. Okay. Thank you both. We won't be petty. Ooh. Assignment completed. Oh. Lenkerg commerce all-time high. Where's Lenkerg? Oh, in Agland. Oh my god. All-time high. We've done well for Agland, haven't we? All because of the H3 highway opening. That's good news for Agland. Let's have a look on their little tab here. Yeah, green. Not much red there. Oh, lack of healthcare on the outskirts though. Not in Arvery, just Lauren. Right, trade talks with the Chancellor of Valsland. Holy hell. Okay, big time, big time. Big time. And Lesbia too. Oh, this is gonna be good. News first though. Commission to ensure competition and fair trade. to ensure unchecked Arcasian capitalism doesn't take away from our citizens' quality of products and profits benefit from the loyal citizens serving their country. The new commission, overseen by experts from the state and private sectors, will create regulations to allow for fair competition and trade. In the end, our consumers will win by higher quality products being produced and entering the Swedish market. Our local producers will also have a fair chance to compete against international companies by filing anti-competition lawsuits for unfair mergers that would hurt the local market. Fairness will be established in our marketplace. The Prime Minister of Lesbia is believed to have been too drunk to get off the plane when landing to meet the Prime Minister of Agnolia. Oh, it didn't even land. Oh, it did land. Okay, it did land after 2. It did land after 2 hours, but he did not get out. Alvarez was unwell. Yeah, excess alcohol will make you feel unwell. I've been there many a time. Which one is on good terms with Arcasia? That would be Lesbia. And Lesbia rich, apparently. This is Lesbia right here on our southern border. Right, we're going to hear them both out. We're going to start with Contana first, though. Because I don't want to go with them, really. But we've got to hear out both ends of the deal. Both deals. So here we go. I hope I've got my advisors with me. They need to be advising me. Big decision here. Midnight was approaching as our delegation boarded SRS Whole Sword. The large ship was once the royal yacht of King Egmont himself. By order of Saul, it was repurposed to serve the leaders of Swordland for state visits. We departed from the port of the Shaven, along with a few other smaller escort boats. I entered the luxurious compartments reserved for heads of state. I lay down on the bed to rest my eyes before we arrived at Wilburn, a major city in Valgsland. The Marking Sea was known for its treacherous waters, but tonight's trip promised to be rather calm and quiet. Still, I couldn't sleep. I went out to the upper deck to have some fresh air. A light breeze was blowing, and I relished its briny smell. There was nobody here except David. My foreign minister was leaning over a railing, gazing out at the inky waves. "Ah, Mr. President, I'm surprised you are still up this late." "Yes. I could say the same thing about you, David." "Yeah, good point. I used to feel that sleep was wasted time. Why spend 1/3 of one's life in the dark? I rather appreciate it now, but there's still something special about being awake while the rest of the world has its eyes closed. Do you mind if I ask why you can't sleep?" "Ah, it's nothing, David. Don't worry about it. Do you know what? I'm the same as David. I am not somebody that's big on sleep. I kind of I think it's wasted time. Obviously, I know you need to sleep to repair your body and all the rest of it, but if you could pop a pill to not need to sleep, I'd be the first one popping it." Oh, you've just said exactly the same thing, the geezer. Yeah. Give me a pill. Half an hour power nap, and that's you for the day. Perfect. I'll be all over it like a rash. How much does it cost? £100 a month? Sign me up. Not a problem. Because time, can't put a price on time. You can't put a price on time because it costs £1,000 a month. I'm not doing it, clearly. But yeah, nothing to worry about, David. Nothing to worry about. Hence why I go to bed late. I mean, obviously, it's a bad habit from gaming all these years. But, I go to bed at like 12:30. and if I'm working the next day, I still get up at 6, so it's like 5.5 hours sleep. I don't want to be in bed for like 8 hours, 9 hours. Some people will go to bed like, oh, I'm in bed by 9. What? You get home from work about 5, have your tea, then you're straight in bed. What? You having a laugh? No. I will occasionally go in bed earlier than 12:30. If my body's telling me, do you know what, I'm a bit tired, I might go to bed at 10:30, 11, you know, if I need it. But normally I catch up on my sleep in the weekend. That's my time to catch up. Usually have a few drinks, knock out, wake up at 10. So I'm one of these people that's also, when I'm in bed, I'm asleep. I lay down, I put my head on the pillow, and you can guarantee 9 times out of 10, touch wood, it still continues, that I'm asleep within 10 minutes. I don't sit there, daydream, dilly-dally, ooh, what am I going to have for tea tomorrow? Ooh, what's happening at work tomorrow? Ooh, eat, none of that. I'm in bed, and I'm gone, straight out. So I think that's probably why I can sleep for 5.5 hours, because when I get my head down, it literally is boom, 5.5 hours. It's not me going to bed at 12:30, tossing and turning until 1:30, then sleeping. I'm straight out. Now, is that because I'm a good sleeper? Is that because I sleep less hours? So I don't know. I think it's a bit of both, possibly. Oh, you have to take medication to sleep? Oh, that's tough. But yeah, I'm not the biggest sleep fan. Don't get me wrong, there are some times when I'm like, you know what, I'm absolutely knackered, I just want to go to bed. So I get quite cranky when I'm tired. Anyway, David is trying to convince us to tell him why we are not sleeping. It's the ship, having a seasick. I said it's nothing. Ooh, a bit snappy. But he's insisting, so we must also insist too. It's nothing, David, honestly. Just chill out, will you? Let's enjoy the waves. And I will tell you one thing, actually. Obviously, I do like the occasional cruise every now and then. That standing on top deck, middle deck, on your balcony, even if you've got one, and it's night time, and there's nobody else around, and it's just quiet, and just the sound of the ocean below, and just blackness with the stars in the sky, and it's very, very nice. I have in my time sat there or stood there, half an hour's gone by, I'm like, oh, I've just literally been in almost like a meditative state, you know, just chilled out, no work, no chores, no nothing, just me on holiday and this peace and tranquil moment. Really nice. But don't worry, I'll be back there again in November. I've not been on a cruise for a little while because I started to experiment with hotel holidays, as you've probably realised recently. If you fall over, no one will ever know. Oh, the rails are very high, Nagisa, don't worry. You have to physically climb up and jump off if you're going to fall in. They're very safe. And some balconies, actually, if it's, say I was doing it on my balcony, some balconies don't actually overlook straight into the sea. They're kind of tiered, so if you've got a balcony, if I go to the edge of my balcony and look down, I'm not falling out into the sea, I'm falling onto the promenade deck, or I'm falling onto the balcony below me. Which is probably going to be painful. Break a few bones, probably, because they are quite high. But nonetheless. Yeah. We spent a couple of minutes watching the waves. It's chilly out here. I must go and try to get some sleep. I'm an old man, after all. I recommend you do the same. No. Black sea, starry sky, silence, nobody's... I think it's nice. Oh, very well. Good night. I watched the sea for some more time before going back to my compartment to sleep. The dawn arrived and our ship moored at the busy port of Wilburn. Amid the usual camera flashes, our convoy made its way to the train station. After a short, uneventful ride, we arrived at the central train station of Helm, the capital city of Valsland. A huge crowd was already there, awaiting my arrival. They swarmed around me and took photos as I stepped out of the train. Our delegation met with various members of the Valslandian cabinet before taking our cars to the royal palace. The flags of Valsland and the CSP were waving next to the entrance. Assistants took my belongings and led me to the museum wing. It was there that I saw Chancellor Hegel. He was inspecting a very large painting on the wall. That's just, whilst we were on our ship, we were reading the briefing about Mr. Hegel, just in case there's any ways we can play him, So, Mr. Hegel, communist revolutionary, liberal reforms in areas of domestic policy, political commissar, fought alongside famous revolutionary, military man. Okay, so he seems to have done a semi-decent job. Right, very good. Chancellor Hegel. We won't clear our throat. That's almost like I am here, Chancellor Hegel. He turned around. He was a man of small stature with a bald spot and a striking visage. His famous pipe was in his mouth. He briefly scanned me from head to toe. We shook hands as he stared me down. The clash of the leaders here. Mr. Rain, welcome to Valsland. Good to be here. He gestured towards the painting. This was made in 1776 by the famous Valslandian painter Otto Keben. I looked at the painting. It must have been over 5 meters tall. There was a battle scene. On the left side, there were banners carried by Valgs. On the right, swords. Countless spears formed a triangle at the centre. The sky was red from blood. What do you think about it? I think that we have come far. After all, we are standing here side by side instead of facing each other on the battlefield. Don't you? Hello, Jet. How you doing? We can do so much more through unity. However, not everyone wants that. We started walking. I must admit, I have been watching your rule with worry. You banned completely legal organizations such as the Red Youth. Your actions are clear as day. Ooh. Okay, Mr. Hegel. Swordland's concerns are Swordland's alone. Keep your nose out of my business. My hand was forced. My hand wasn't forced, really. Ooh. I think basically keep your nose out of my affairs in a polite-ish way as possible. Swordland's concerns are mine to deal with, as I see fit. Hegel frowned. I sincerely hope you understand that the world doesn't work that way anymore, Mr. Rain. Perhaps in the past, but not anymore. Listen, Mr. Rain, you have come here for a trade deal. Let us talk about your deal, and we will call it a day. I'm not getting positive vibes from Mr. Hegel. And I didn't want an ally with you anyway, really. So you're not doing much to sway me at the moment. You've just lowered your chances. Deal is straight off. No, we've come on a ship. We've endured motion sickness. We're going to hear him out. I expect nothing more. Don't worry about that. Good. Here is what I am proposing. I have no qualms about what has been negotiated so far. Swordish tungsten in return for Valgsland's hard-earned money. That's a good deal, really. No. My problem is not with the deal itself. My problem is with you, Mr. Rain. It's with how you lead Swordland. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Hegel, but you don't necessarily have to like me to trade with Swordland. True, true. But I can certainly make your life harder. Let me tell you this, Mr. Rain. A trade deal between Valgsland and Swordland. It is possible. Okay, what do you want? What I want is simple. Recognize Helliland as Valgslandian territory, and I am ready to come to the table. I mean, we shouldn't be surprised, should we? Agland wanted pretty much the same. I didn't want to get involved in this scenario, but if that's all he needs, it's Agnoli that have stepped out of line a little bit, from my understanding. So, and that provides us with a very good navy ally. They're on good terms with. Are these guys? These guys aren't in good terms with Rumberg, are they? I don't think they are, or are they? But I don't want to commit now, so is there no way to stall this deal? If I accept this deal now, or can you actually deal with them both? I just want to know the mechanics of this. This is a game mechanic thing. A, is there a way to stall him? Oh, so you could trade with both. Or you can deal with both. Okay. Okie dokie. Bear with me. Right. So this isn't... This is a trade deal. This isn't an alliance. At the moment. I think. Is that how this is working? We are going to ask what he's after, ultimately. Is that a yes or a no? This guy, I really don't like him. But I personally think if we can get a deal with both Lesbia and Vargsland, then that's surely got to be beneficial for us in the long run. I know Lesbia won't necessarily get on with these guys, but, you know, ultimately, let us play the dance and do what we need to do. Ultimately, we've got -5 government budget. We need money. We need help with Rumberg. We really aren't in a situation where we can be turning people away willy-nilly. And he's asking us to recognise what the rest of the world is recognising right now. So, seeing as we have to either declare for or against it right now, we can't stall him, and we could possibly get two deals here, I can't see any other reason than saying yes. Deal. Prime Minister Van Horten's going to be very annoyed because he asked us to do the same and we were like, no, we can't get involved in this crisis, my friend. We're going to remain neutral. That is until Vargsland come knocking and then we're going to take their side. But hey, what did you do for me? And consider our trade deal sealed, Mr. Rain. He extended his hand for a handshake. I'm not massively happy about this, but it's kind of one of those situations where you feel it's quite needed. Almost like a dirty deed, you know. We come out of there and we kind of feel like we need to get a shower or something, you know. Oh, God, what have I done? Right. And we're not childish, so we shake the man's hand. Another Lucian here. Oh, yes, we are at the end of our allocated time. I must go back to work. Enjoy your stay in Vargsland. I will. Have a good day, Chancellor Hegel. It's taken us all of our strength to remain cordial and polite here, but we will not be lowered to any other standard than our professionalism. Good day, sir. Good day. When he's gone, you effing... Cups flying. Have a good day, Mr. Rain. He turned around and walked away, leaving me alone in the empty halls of the Royal Palace, and then we screamed, got out our tensions and frustrations because we took all our efforts to maintain that same level of composure. Good day. Good day to you. Well, that was easy. Whoa. Trade Initiative. The trade initiative spearheaded by the Republic of Swordland represents a strategic foreign policy move aimed at establishing and strengthening economic partnerships within the region. Through this initiative, Swordland seeks to foster closer economic ties, facilitate trade liberalisation, and enhance cooperation on key economic issues such as market access, investment promotion, and harmonisation of trade regulations. We've got trade with Vargsland. Exchange of capital, goods and services across their respective borders and territories. Enhances economic cooperation and fosters mutually beneficial trade relations between the two nations. Seamless economic integration and creating opportunities for business to thrive. And we have recognised Heliland as Vargslandian, affirming their respect for international borders and territorial sovereignty. Nice. Or is it nice? Tungsten trade with Vargsland. Free trade zone with Vargsland. I think that's not too shabby. Now let's get trade with Lesbia too. Hopefully less. What the hell can Lesbia ask for after all this? What have they? What have they got? Is the lesbian guy the drunkard? Yeah, Prime Minister of Lesbia. Okay. Oh, I forgot to look at the papers. Hang on. Radical. That's a distinctively neutral article from the Radical. Almost to the point where I think they're actually quite happy with it. We can't put any of our slanders in here today because we quite like this, so we'll have to keep it neutral. But can't we just put one slander in it, or one couple of radical adjectives? No, I think we'll just keep this quite neutral today. Maybe they've got a new editor. Oh dear. Geopolitical. Swordland. We've made the geopolitical news. Hey, hang on. Swordland recognises Helliland as Valslandian territory. Ah. Sending ripples around the eastern Macopa and beyond. Incoming conflict ahead. Agnolia stands alone. The day you tried to threaten me, Prime Minister Van Horten, was the day you will live to regret. And I came to you for you had to play hard to get, didn't you? Well, the tables have turned. I was in my office preparing my briefcase for the trip ahead to Perla in Lesbia to discuss the trade deal. I had 2 knocks and I turned around to see David. He was panting heavily. Mr. President? Is something wrong? I have just received a communication from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Lesbia about our trade deal. Because of our trade deal with Valgsland, they have decided to cancel the negotiations. What? You're joking me. Oh, no. Is there any way we can still get them on the table? Unfortunately not. Oh, no. It seems like the trade deal with Lesbia fell apart. I started unpacking my briefcase. Oh, this is what I wanted to find out. This is a game mechanic issue. Oh. It's an autosave system as well. I mean, okay, let me think. If I was aware that I... See, this is a game mechanic. Well, it's not necessarily, but it is and it isn't. Because even if I go to any one of them first, and then they turn around and I turn around and say, look, they give me some time to think about it, they could still turn around and say, no, you're going to make a decision now. And then we're kind of, well, oh, I've got to make a decision now then. So that could realistically happen, I suppose. But had I have known that, would I have gone to Lesbia first? Is the question. And I think the answer would be yes. I think I would. If it was a case of you can only pick one, which one would you have picked? If you had to shun the other one, it would have been Lesbia. I didn't want to drag myself into the Valslandian situation, really. And they weren't my preferred partners anyway. If the deal with Lesbia wasn't favourable, I had a backup plan. So ultimately, I do feel a bit hard done by here. I hate reloading, you see. That's not all, Mr. President. Oh, what's happened? He handed me a document with the emblem of the Ministry of Economy of Lesbia on it. Lesbia has put tariffs on our trade in retaliation. They are trying to economically weaken us. Looks like we've made an adversary. The document and slammed the table. Right, okay. Let's have a look where the reload is. The reload is at the start of the session. We haven't done a great deal if we're to power ourselves through it, but... Oh, man. Oh. I'm debating whether we should just leave it at this point. Oh. Yeah, we can fly through all of that. We haven't done a great deal. But... Well, our established policy... Our established policy was actually planned economy, which is... Contana are very much planned economy. ATO isn't, but I kind of, in my head, I wanted to branch out towards planned economy slowly long term, so allying with Lesbia would go against our manifesto, but it would tie in with my own kind of shifting towards the free market approach. It's kind of slowly but steadily. Well, this game save won't be overwritten if I reload it, so let's reload this save. Because I completely hate reloading. I completely hate it. But that to me is very much a game mechanic thing. If the game made it clear, for example, that, you know, one of these options, only one is going to be happy. You know, they both don't like each other, so you're unrealistically not going to get both. You know, I could have made a more informed choice. Right, so we'll just fly through the papers. This is the start of the session. This is where we find out that actually I spent an hour and a half playing this game and talking, and I've literally done 2 minutes worth of work as we fly through just what I've got through whilst wittering away. That's fine. So let's go to Departure of Sun. See if I can remember exactly what we did. You pack everything, don't forget, I'm all packed. Better shot than me. You're your own man now, Frank. Dina comes running in, gives her a big hug. Everyone starts crying. Cuts the crust off the sarnies. Got mine off, you know. Blah, 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 blah. Sergey rushes us out the door. Thank you, Sergey. And make me proud, son. And we have a bit of quiet time with my wife. Puts her head on my shoulder. And I said, he will be fine. I know he will. Okay, 5 news articles. Are these all the same? Let's do a bit of clicky-clacky. Dispute with the interior. That never materialised yet. Should be coming soon, though. Valgland preparing for major invasion. Gasom. No profits for us. Thank you very much. BFF hideout meeting happening. We got a salary increase. Changes to law. Peter's late. I'll talk to him in private. He comes late. Why are you late? NFP members causing grief. As if we believe that. Let's go over the documents. Right. Fair trade. That's it. Thank you both. Assignment's completed. Trey talks to Lesbia, just like that. Yeah, that's what an hour and a half gets you. An hour and a half, confined to 2 minutes. Holy cow. Yeah. Look, we're not power gamers here, alright? Right, trade talks with the Prime Minister of Lesbia. Now, before we carry on with this situation, I do want to say, actually, obviously I'm playing Fallout, recording Fallout, very last minute thing, which I kind of got the idea for on stream, live, just talking, you know, with you guys, giving me a brainwave. But I must say that I'm really enjoying it. Because I don't do recorded videos anymore, hardly at all, but actually the flexibility of just being able to record for 40 minutes and not like an hour and a half. I sit down and play for 3 hours at a time. And just, you know, when you've got a spare hour in your day, oh, I've got an hour, just sit down, play a bit of Fallout. Worry about editing it up and uploading it when I'm back or whatever. It's been quite a lot of fun, to the point where I've actually got video stockpiled at the moment. Like, oh, play a bit more, play a bit more. The upload speed is absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's only 10-minute videos, but they upload in 10 seconds. It's like a second a minute. So I'm assuming a 40-minute video will be 40 seconds. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. So yeah, and the biggest thing is, because it's 10-minute videos, there's no time for me to chitter on and witter away, you see. Got to get straight to the flipping point, which is a bit too fast for my liking, but I think it's a happy medium to strike. So when we eventually go, I was thinking about if I was going to go back to doing recorded videos, which I will do in the back of this because I think it's quite good to keep those on the table. I'm thinking 20-minute videos might be quite an optimal length in general. 20 minutes is about, maybe a bit longer, is if you think of something like Hollyoaks or a half-an-hour soap opera with adverts, the actual run time of the show is probably about 23 minutes. So I think if I stick to around about either 20 to 25 minute sessions, 2 sessions per upload per session, 2 videos per session, I think that's quite a nice little balance in terms of timing to allow a little bit of chitty chatty and, you know, expand upon thought processes and a bit of character story development, but keeping me on task. I think it's quite good. But anyway, yeah. Hello, Ollie. Good evening to you. Do I have 1 day left to start Three Kingdoms? Yeah. Well, tentatively, I was saying tomorrow. Still haven't. No, Wednesday. Sorry, I was saying Wednesday. I'm still going through the tutorial videos. Learn all about army composition and disbanding troops and little hints and tricks around that kind of process. The game is actually quite deep. When I'm going through these tutorials, it's a lot deeper than a lot of the other Total War games I've played in the past. Quite good. But yeah, so I've got to just do my mods, which is tomorrow's task. I'm just going to go through the mod list. And if the mod list is easy to install, it's Steam Workshop, so it should be just click to subscribe to it and it should just automatically do its stuff. No mod managers required and all that kind of affair. Because if that was the case, it won't be happening on Wednesday, I can promise you that much. But if it's just a quick click on Steam Workshop and the mods do what they're supposed to do, and I'm happy with the ones that, you know, I find, then I don't see any reason why Wednesday can't happen, to be honest with you. Even if we don't play an entire whole, 15 turns, it's never going to happen. But if we just get started, start to create and craft the story, the direction that we're going to go in, have the initial kind of tutorially battle, first couple of turns, it's got the ball rolling, hasn't it? So yeah, I might need a bit of help with strategy, and how the bandit faction works exactly. Because I'm watching a playthrough of somebody that's not a bandit. So, as I said before, there's some obviously differences between the play styles. So, some of the quirks of how bandits work, I'm completely oblivious to right now. But yeah, so mark your calendars, Wednesday, unless, of course, football, they're a player down, and I'll be playing football. Just warning you in advance, alright? And if it happened, you'd be all like, oh, football, yeah, really? I'll even show you the WhatsApp messages to prove it, if it comes to that. But no, I could even do a pre-football stream if I have to go to football. Okay. Well, we're in it together, because I'll be looking at you guys for advice. So we shall see. We shall see. Right. Anyway, there you go. It's now 9 o'clock. Another hour to do 5 minutes worth of clicking. The Romance of the Three Kingdoms game. What game is that? Is that Dynasty Warriors or whatever it's called? Dynasty Warriors? Dynasty Warriors? Is that what you're talking about? Okay, the maroon train starts to move slowly. Don't forget, our high railways haven't been touched yet. They're still a bit rickety. The train had been in service for many years. It had 9 locomotives with special quarters and an office. As the name implied, it was painted bright maroon. Among camera flashes and cheers, we departed from the Holsword Central Station. Our destination, Perla, the capital of Lesbia. The historic route we were also using was also called the Southern Express. We passed through the Lesbian mountain range to the lowlands with a short stop at the beautiful Suzerain, where Lesbian security forces joined us. Looking outside the window, the difference in wealth between Valgan and Sarah Neva was extraordinary. I had a knock on the door to my office on the train, and Simon entered. Mr. President. Simon, please do have a seat. I'll have to have a look at that. He sat down on a chair in front of my desk. I wanted to have a quick chat about Prime Minister Alvarez and give you a heads up. Yes, I've heard he's a drunkard. Anything else? There have been some rumours about his demeanour in public appearances. Go on. He is known to have met with other state leaders while intoxicated on various occasions. Could we use that as a manipulation, kind of leverage? Manipulate him a bit if he's drunk. Could work against us because he could completely forget about what we agreed. Some even call him an alcoholic. Is this going to affect the trade deal? Honestly, I don't know. Circling over Starport. Yeah, we read this. This happened just yesterday. Apparently he was so drunk that he couldn't get off the plane on a diplomatic visit. After this incident, some say he is unfit to serve, but I don't believe that at all. Why? Although his presidency is riddled with these kinds of incidents, I also heard that he is a shrewd man. Okay. Well, Simon, thanks for giving me the heads up. Yeah, we should get Peter in on the case. This is the one time that Peter could shine. Peter is a people person. And B, he likes to drink. Just lock him in with the just, this is what I want, Peter. Just sort it. And this was the one time you could probably let him loose and he wouldn't do a bad job, I think. Clearly it's not going to happen, but perhaps we should channel our inner Peter for this meeting. And whenever we make a decision or say something, we should just take a step back and think, what would Peter do in this situation? And then rather than do the opposite, actually just do it for a change. Right, anyway. I'm sure you will be fine. Okay. I'll see you when we arrive. We wave to the crowd as our train comes to a stop. The crowds of reporters that flocked over were pushed away by the lesbian security guards. We made our way to our cars and the convoy began its short trip to the Yellow House. The Yellow House was situated at the very centre of Perla, in the middle of a circular park that was off limits to regular citizens. The park was full of roses on small patches. The convoy came to a stop and I made my way to the entrance. The assistants directed me to a room to wait for Prime Minister Alvarez. And wait we did, looking up at the golden chandeliers. After 10 minutes, still no sign of the President. It was almost time for our meeting. It's a good job Lucian's not here. My chair started to feel uncomfortable. I stood up and walked around to look at the various items in the room. A beautiful golden teapot piqued my interest. Inspect the teapot. You can bet your bottom dollar if I inspect the teapot, the man's going to walk in, so we're going to leave the teapot be. I went back to my chair. The door opened and Patricio Alvarez entered. Should we do the same? 100th richest man in the world. A businessman. Has been investigated for profiteering. Ooh, a bit of a shady character. Got connections. And approval into the ATO. Okay. So he's very much a businessman, economics man, which actually, considering our economic state, is probably not a bad thing. Right, here he comes. Although I knew that he was one of the youngest state leaders in the world, I was still surprised by how boyish he looked. At his age, he was leading one of the strongest countries in Eastern Bacopa. He was holding his head like he had a headache and he was stumbling. Upon seeing me, he immediately composed himself. We shook hands, so he's drunk again. He gestured toward the two couches and we sat down face to face. President Rain, welcome to Perla. He dropped it on the floor. Good job we didn't touch it then. Good to have you here, good to have you here. I hear a lot about your successes. And I hear a lot about yours as well, Mr. Alvarez. I try, Mr. Rain, I try. As he's exhaling his breath, I got a strong odour of alcohol in the air. Oh. We just remain quiet. Let's begin then, shall we? So, you are here for the trade deal. What was it about again? Can you remind me? We want to provide Swordish tungsten in return for lesbian capital. Yes, right. Yes, so sorry. I've had a very busy day. Been very busy lately, yeah. You know, being a president makes you pretty busy. So I don't have any issues with this deal, just so you're aware. But there is one problem. He smirked. Shrewd man. I mean, he's doing a very good at masking that shrewdness right now. Wayland. Oh, you mean the Wayland that we have a trade deal with, Wayland? At the moment, Wayland? That Wayland? Your decision to defend the border while Smolak committed war crimes diverted all those refugees here. Now we have a full-blown refugee crisis in Lesbia. Which unfortunately means that the price has gone up, Mr. Rain. Tell me what you want, Mr. Alvarez. Let's cut to the chase. The only thing anyone could possibly ever want out of Wayland. I want their oil. Okay. Is that doable? Simon? Where are you? David? And how are you planning to get that? I think you might be saying, no, how are you planning to get that for me? Okay. I'm listening. A lot of oil from Wayland is passing through Swordland. And Swordish Petroleum owns most of the oil trade in Swordland. Do you see where I'm going with this, Mr. Rain? I think I do, but why don't you enlighten me so that we're not under any illusions of what precisely you mean by this? I want you to sell me Swordish Petroleum, or the deal is off. We can't do that, actually, Mr. Alvarez. I mean, we could sit here and debate the ins and outs of this, but this is Swordish Petroleum. Could you imagine the horror if I came back? Right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a trade deal with Lesbia. Oh, hey, whoopie-doo. I mean, I've sold Swordish Petroleum to get it. Excuse me? Miss Tory's face, could you imagine? Everyone's flipping face. Lilius, the whole lot. But I'm going to put it down to our energy protection laws. Energy protection laws, Mr. Alvarez. It's actually, we cannot comply. I cannot comply with that. It's against the law. Then thank you for coming to visit Perla. He got up and started making his way to the door. I've got the sudden urge to scream out behind him, "You drunken fool!" Goodbye. I've got to say something. I can't sit there in silence. Bye. Fine, bye then. See ya. Dickhead. And then throw the teapot. I mean, I wish I'd have picked up and smashed it now. Well, that was fruitless. Oh, after all that, there was no need to flip and reload it, was there? Right, Chancellor of Valgsland it is. We've obviously been here. Bit of nighttime liaisings. Can't sleep. You mind if I ask why? Nothing to worry about. Why? I said it's nothing. Very well. A couple of minutes watching the waves. It's chilly. I recommend you do the same. I'll stay a little bit longer. Thanks very much. Right, very good. Very good. Right. Okay, let's carry on. Chancellor Hegel, good to see you. For those of you that have just come after we had this meeting, we reloaded it because it was a game mechanic issue that occurred. And I'll give you the quick version of this conversation. He's a miserable old fool. Well, he's not a fool, actually. He's a miserable man. Very short, to the point. Doesn't like me at all, but is willing to enter a trade deal. And the only thing we have to do to get that trade deal is to acknowledge, like the rest of the world do, that Helliland is Valslandian territory. No-brainer, really. I'm not selling anything. I'm not giving a company to anybody. I'm not doing anything that's going to tick off any of my party. Just acknowledging something that the rest of the world acknowledges. Easy as pie. Right. Good to be here. Painting. Times have changed. We're stood here talking right now. We start walking. He's not happy that we banned the Red Youth. But my concerns, or my country's concerns, are my country's concerns. My concerns, in fact, seeing as I run the country. Listen, Mr. Rain. I expect nothing more. Here's what I'm proposing. Good deal, really. You don't have to like me to trade with Swordland. I can make your life more difficult. What do you want? What I want is simple. Recognise Heliland. What you're after, yes or no. Deal. Deal done. He walks out. After a handshake, of course. And have a good day, Chancellor Hegel. Have a good day, Mr. Rain. We have a trade deal with Valsland, which gives us quite a few different things. The growth line turns upwards. All is well with the world. Right, so let's see what's next on store. Private meeting with Peter. Is this us addressing Peter's behaviour finally? It's only taken how many flipping months to address it? Right, here we go. Peter's going to get a tongue lashing now. Peter, it's time we had a talk. Just pop yourself down here, will you, old boy? It's dark, chilly evening when Peter called and asked if we could meet. Oh no, he's asked to meet me. Oh. Thought this was us having our private conversation that we said we would have with him. He gave no details. All he said was that it was important. I drove alone through household suburbs until I reached the meeting point he named. 147 Ruheck Avenue, number 26. Our old campaign headquarters, untouched since the night of the election. This was where everything began. Symbolic. I made my way up the dusty staircase of the office building. The light in the second floor hallway was out, so I used a cigarette lighter to find my way to the wooden door marked 26. I pulled on the handle, but it wouldn't budge. The heavy door had always been a pain to open. Coming! Peter pushed on the door with all his weight. It made a screeching sound as it opened. Without further ado, I bid you welcome to this grand nostalgia trip, hosted by yours truly, Peter Vector. He made an exaggerated bow. The dust from the open door was still settling down. Feeling sentimental yet? No, I'm feeling allergenic right now. Do you know what? I'm of a certain age now, and I do like a bit of nostalgia. Nostalgia, the older you get, love a bit of nostalgia. I haven't been here for ages. This is Peter trying to distract us from the crux of this conversation. I'm telling you now, he's doing very well. He knows me too well, in fact. He's putting me off my game here. Oh, look, I remember being here. This is where it all started. Remember when I was sat over there doing that and doing... Oh, happy days. I miss it sometimes, even that damn door. Come over here, look, remember this? He walked over to his old desk and pointed to the gramophone that had annoyed our neighbours and kept us company for so many late nights. Peter flipped the switch and it filled the room with the swing music from the 20s. I'll be damned, it still works. I thought this office was sold off. No, I've been paying the rent. Too many memories attached to this place just to sell it. And you know, we might use it again soon. He put his hand under the desk and brought a bottle out. He took a swig out of it and passed the bottle to me. I don't want to encourage his behaviour. Aren't there any glasses? Aren't there any crystal glasses around here? Do you know what? No, I don't want to encourage his behaviour. First of all, I'm not drinking out of a bottle. Bloody hell, I'm the president, man. Slippers off time now. No thanks, Peter. We don't want to encourage his bad behaviour. I will drink when there is an occasion to drink, which is a celebratory occasion, or if I'm on my own after a hard day and you're not present. Because you don't need to be involved in any drinking games, any drinking shenanigans, any excuse to drink at the moment, Peter. Prime Minister Alvarez springs to mind. Or President Alvarez, what the hell he was. Come on, Anton, I insist. I know you insist, Peter. You tend to insist far too much about this matter. I'd rather not right now. Thank you. Fine. Peter snapped his fingers to the music while going through the items in the room. It looked virtually unchanged since election night. Come on, have a look around. See if it doesn't bring back memories. We take a bit of a mooch about and we kind of casually open our old desk drawers, expecting to see nothing in there. Clearly we haven't left anything behind, have we? Sat down on the squeaky chair. Oh yeah, remember this damn thing. Open the top drawer. Inside there were a few old coins, pencils and sheets of paper. Underneath them, something caught my eye. It was a photograph of me and Monica sitting under a tree. This must have been 10, maybe 15 years ago. We looked so young, so happy. Monica would love to see this. What's he doing in there? Bloody hell. Anton. Rule number 1 of moving out of an office. Clear your office. Blow my neck. Nice find. Look at baby Anton. You didn't even have your iconic look. What? This goatee beard that's never out of place. Glasses, hat, maroon, suit and tie. Never leave home without it. This iconic look. When I'm no longer president, it's going to be weird putting some tracksuit bottoms on. Take the photograph. And now that we found that, what else haven't we found? We start looking through storage boxes. In one of the boxes I found a heavy object wrapped safely. I unwrapped it. It was an emerald-coloured statue of a goat, the symbol of Swordland. I remembered that this was a gift from Brenda, one of the 53 election campaign assistants. It would look good on my desk in the palace. Why are these things still here? Office clearance protocols. Slapdash. Brenda. Always sucking up to you, and where did it get her? Seriously, where? I have no idea where she ended up. Take the statue. Oh, well, while I'm at it, rifle through a few records as well. Just flipping through them. One of my favourite ever albums, Mountains by Janet Gers. A set of plaintive folk songs that made me yearn for the countryside whenever I heard it. What a classic! You should mail that to Frank so he can learn what real music is. Frank is not going to get off on this music. But we will take it anyway. Coming back laden with goods, pictures, records, statues. Where have you been? Car boot sale. Right. Well, Peter, that was fun. Thanks for that, but you've invited me here for a reason, I assume, and this was not the sole reason. Yeah. All in good time. He gestured at the bottle he had in his hand. If there's an option to snatch it, we're snatching it now. No, I'm still good, thanks. He shrugged, took a very big gulp out of the bottle and staggered to the side afterwards. Oh, God. Anton, why didn't you grab the bottle? I know you, Peter, all too well. What are you hiding? No, nothing. Let's go up to the roof. The view was always amazing from there. We went up the stairs to the roof. The view was indeed mesmerising. The buildings of Halsaw twinkled below us while the stars shone bright in the sky. We sat and leaned back against a wall, taking it all in. Right as I was starting to get up, I heard a sobbing sound. I turned to Peter and saw tears streaming down his cheeks. Oh boy, here it comes. A bit of the old Dutch courage has been drunk, and now it's going to come out in the wash. Should we be critical or should we be consoling? Now, Peter, what's going on? Come on, you can tell old brother Anton here. Come on now. Forget this President Ray malarkey. I'm Anton here. What's going on? I am going to play it a bit, downplay it a bit. Bit of a, you know. I have not yet seen a night sky beautiful enough to make Peter Vecton cry. Come on now, what's happening? He wiped away the tears and laughed. Oh, I messed up, Anton. I messed up big time. Evelyn's leaving me. She wants a divorce. Surprise, surprise. Oh, it's one of those situations where the mouth opened before the options came up again. Not surprised. No, I guess you shouldn't be. I've been sleeping with Livia Suno. Dun dun dun. Really? I would never have guessed. I had a feeling about you too. Not stupid, Peter. I can read people pretty well by now. And you weren't exactly being subtle. We got careless, I know. We got careless, as if that was the issue. Oh, the issue was our carelessness. No, Peter, the issue was you did it in the first place. I'm sorry that we got careless. Goodness me, Peter. It's just, Evelyn hasn't been the same since she lost her job, and Livia was giving me the sultry looks from the day I hired her. You were away, I was drunk, one thing led to another. But she's more than just a pretty girl, Anton. She's smart and kind. I think we really connected. How could you do this to me? Now forget about me. I like her too. Do you know what? I'm trying to switch off from president mode here, or work mode, you know, manager mode. This is best mate mode. Yeah, I like her too, mate. That doesn't mean I'm going to break my wedding vows, risk a scandal for a bit of horizontal polo. Come on now. I know. But we're ending things. I told her it's too unprofessional, and I want Evelyn back. Now we're bothered about this getting out. Oh my god. Okay. Who else knows Peter? Besides me and the three of you, who else knows? Now this is kind of covering up Peter's mess. Not covering it up because he's done it, but mitigating vice president here sleeping with the president's PA. Oh, the radical, they'd be having heart attacks. Could you imagine the radical office if this got out to them? Holy flipping cow, they'd be uncontrollably wetting themselves with glee. I'm not speaking to Evelyn, it's none of my business. We have to think about this. We have to give this some serious consideration. Who else knows, Peter? Who else knows? You do realise the impact that this could have on the whole situation here. Nobody, I swear. There was an edge of desperation in Peter's voice. He took another drink. How many years have we known each other? How many scrapes have we gotten ourselves out of? I can handle this myself, just trust me, and don't bring anyone else into this. I turned to face my friend and vice president. The habits that had gotten him dubbed the bad boy of swordish politics when we were young were no longer so charming coming from a middle-aged man. Yet he was still a capable politician, and I couldn't ignore our long history together. Oh, this is almost like we're about to have to make a big decision. Oh boy. Oh. This is like the worst case situation. Worst case situation to happen. You know, professional boundaries. You know, professionalism versus friendship and brushing things under the carpet because it's your mate, whereas if it wasn't your mate, you do something completely different. It's a very big pickle. I would never like to be in that pickle. I've never been in that pickle personally, and I would never put myself in that pickle for somebody else. When it comes to professional and work and outside work stuff, they need to be separate. They need to be separate. The amount of things I've seen over the years with things becoming a bloodbath because people have not been able to keep their things in their pants when it's come to work colleagues or things is... So many. But anyway, just an affair, and it's over at that. We can weather this. Could we? I will handle it myself. You will fix this, or I will remove you from office. The trouble is, I don't think we could trust him to fix it. What is he going to fix? He's drinking all the time. I mean, this could be the short, sharp shock he needs to pull his act together. But do we trust him to be able to fix it himself? Or should we, as the person that's responsible here, professional here, we just have to deal with it? We'll be speaking with Lucian straight away. We'll have to do something. But you keep your flipping nose out of it, keep your mouth shut, keep your head down. I don't want to hear another peep out of you. It will be all on him, but I mean, ultimately, if this gets out, this is bad for all of us, not just him. If it was just him that was at stake, and then, yes, off you go, buddy. But I think the way we're talking here is that there's bigger implications than just his reputation on the line. Time we on? God. Peter, you utter imbecile. Still a capable politician. You have got a long history. Which is the harsher tone? You will fix it, I'm going to remove you from office, or I will just deal with this myself. I think I will deal with this myself is less harsh. The most harsh is deal with it or you're sacked. Simple, Peter. You know what I mean? But enough of you. Sort it or gone. Political career over. That's probably the harsher of the two. So we're not going to brush it under the carpet, but I don't want to be overly harsh. So I think the middle ground, you know, I'm taking this stance, Peter, for your own good. I am going to deal with this. But then it doesn't teach him anything. If I'm going to smooth it over and sort it out, you know, oh, don't worry, I can cock up again, and Anton will sort it. Anton will sort it out. If I make another mess, he'll pull the strings. That's not a problem. Yeah. Well, we said to our son that he had to live with his consequences, right? You didn't get into university because your grades were crap, therefore I'm not pulling strings for you, I'm not doing your work for you, you're going to the army. And if we can stare at our son and say that to him in his face, well, this guy, we should be saying exactly the same thing. Peter, you've made this mess, you will fix it. And if you don't fix it, I can't keep you around. You do realise that, don't you? It's the same principle. It's the same principle. Fix it, Peter. It's your mess. Fix it. And if you don't fix it, I'll have no choice but to remove you from office. I can't have scandal going on in my own office. As in, literally, my own office. You are my right hand, my vice president, sleeping with my PA. It's right under my flipping nose, Peter. Fix it. Yes, Anton, I understand. Thank you so much. Do we anything from my best sweeping under the carpet is anything from my best friend. I mean, if we're not doing anything, don't worry, mistakes happen. This is a bit more than a mistake. Look, don't mention it, and I mean it, Peter. Don't mention it. Without waiting for his reaction, I left the rooftop alone and made my way downstairs. On my way out, I grabbed my belongings and took one last look at the office. It had been home to some happy memories for sure, but this visit had permanently cured me of my nostalgia. As soon as I arrived home, I headed up to my study, sat down and stared at the telephone. And as much as our fingers were twitching, and we may have put our hand on the receiver a couple of times, we're going to let him do what he needs to do. We're going to have to trust him. This is his chance to prove himself. I'm taking a chance at letting him prove himself, but ultimately, this is him. This is one last chance. They're called nobody. Oh, I mean, if there's one man that we should probably tell, it is Lucian. Come on, he's the chief strategist, the chief advisor. Jesus Christ, if this goes out, which it probably will, Peter drinks loosened lips, you know. Oh, well, blah, 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 blah. What? Oh, so sorry. Oh. I slipped into bed, careful not to disturb my sleeping wife. I would tell her the news about Peter and Evelyn tomorrow. I hoped it wouldn't upset her too much. I couldn't sleep at all that night. Thanks, Peter. Thanks very much. Increased trade volumes. In other good news... Woohoo! That's because of the situation with the Valgsland economy trade dealy thing. Our growth line has flattened a bit. It's gone a bit steeper than that temporarily. The Contanan Pact. Submarine attack on a cargo ship. Off the coast of Markinissa, near northeast Rumburg. Rumburg has attacked a cargo vessel belonging to United Contana. Holy cow, that's a big... Oh, they're Rumburg are getting a bit big for their boots here. Bloody hell. United Contana is a superpower, for heaven's sake. A hotline between Grace and CSP. Governor Bron continues resettlement policies. Governor Bron reports that his efforts in maintaining stability and safeguarding the well-being of the special zone is continuing successfully. According to the report, the controversial resettlement policies of the governor are continuing. Recent investigations into the collaborators of the Bluedish Freedom Front have resulted in the eviction or apprehension of nearly 4,000 Bluedish residents in the city of Dare. Governor Bron highlighted that these measures, undertaken with careful consideration and in accordance with legal procedures, aim to ensure the safety and security of all residents in the region. However, the Minister of the Interior, Lilias Graff, has expressed concerns over this decision, emphasising the potential ramifications and heightened tensions it may bring to the region. National Business Council warns of excessive spending. Serious debt crisis. Sounding the alarm. We're getting a warning about our national government budget deficit. This can't be a good thing if it's coming up in a briefing. This needs to be rectified quickly. That could be a game over situation. Can you imagine getting this far into the game and going game over because you've got a large budget? I'd be horrified. Honest to God, this would be worse than Not Tonight's ending. I would be horrified. Start of the day at the palace. Start of a regular day. What started out as a regular day, as we clicked our heels and went into the palace, turned out to be a nightmare. It was the dawn of a new day. Early in the morning after my talk with Peter, the sun was just beginning to peak over the horizon. I couldn't sleep, so I decided I might as well head to the palace early and get some uninterrupted work done. The Maroon Palace was empty save for a few cleaning staff. I entered my office and was shocked to see Lucian already there waiting for me at the crack of dawn. Hello, Lucian. How are you doing? Ah, Mr. President. Good. I was hoping you'd be early. Hello, Lucian. I know you're punctual, but this is ridiculous. The sun has barely risen. I have a sensitive matter to discuss. Ah, do you now? What sensitive matter might that be? Nothing escapes your gaze, Lucian, does it? I mean, come on, we saw it as well. I have very good reason to believe the Vice President and your Secretary are engaging in illicit relations. Ah, really, Lucian? I know. He told me. It's over now. Is it over now? Really? We're handling it. Without Lucian's assistance, we're handling nothing. Yes, he told me last night. He said it's over. I was going to tell you today, honestly, Lucian. I didn't think it was worth ringing you in the dead of night about. It wasn't that urgent. I was going to tell you honestly. Lucian gave me a wounded look. Don't look at me like that, Lucian. You knew? And you didn't come to me with this information? That's exactly what came out of my mouth. Again, I've got to say it. He only told me yesterday, last night, dead of night, in fact. I was going to come to you first thing today. We weren't, but hey, he doesn't know that, does he? Peter, you've got me lying to the one person in this world that I can trust with my life. Apart from Sergei as well. Well, don't hesitate to call straight away next time. Sorry. No delay next time, I know. But it was the dead of night, Lucian. Well, like after midnight, for God's sake. Nothing was going to happen between midnight and first thing this morning. Come on now. Let's get a grip. On its own, given Mr. Vecton's established reputation as something of a playboy, the affair is unlikely to cause much damage. However, a more troubling possibility has been brought to light. A recent conversation with Mr. Hailstone, our whistleblower from Rumburg, revealed the presence of a spy within the Maroon Palace. She's a spy, isn't she? You were saying it, and I don't know if you were joking. Lucian, don't do this to me, Lucian, please. Don't do this to me, Lucian. The spy's Lilius, isn't it? Tell me it's Lilius. Tell me it's anybody but Livia. It is Livia! How many times, it's coming to me now, how many times has she tried to ask about things? She's popped in with the tea. Oh, can I help? What's that about? What's that? Oh, who's that? She's asked still. Oh, we just brushed her away. Oh, well, it's nothing, love, it's nothing. She's asked us every time she's come into the room about a conversation, how's it gone? It's coming to me like an epiphany moment. Hello, Shelley. This is live. Hot off the press. I believe Miss Suno is our Mo. She has been using her relationship with Mr. Vecton to gather information. Why? 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 It makes sense. We're not laughing. It's not preposterous. When we think about it, it makes complete sense. She's been far too nosy. Tell me more. I can do better than that. I'll show you. Lucian reached into his coat pocket, pulled out an audio tape, and fed it into the reel-to-reel machine on my desk. This was recorded in the palace at 1809 on the second day of your trade visit to Valsland. He press play. I heard Peter and Livia's voices. You're sure everyone's gone for the day? Relax, Liv. Nobody's working that hard with Anton off in Val's land. Oh, well, the cat's away. Livia giggled. I heard the sound of kissing, then of drinks being poured. I'm glad you stayed behind. Did he tell you how it's going over there? Do you think there's any chance they'll form an alliance? Yeah. We're not going to question that right now. Maybe Lucian had got wind of this far sooner than we did. No, doesn't seem like it. We'll have to find another alternative if we're going to keep Rumberg at bay. Seems like we've still got a shot with the superpowers, at least. We've opened 2 new lines of communication with Ventry City and Gao. Just exploratory talks at this point, but they might lead to something deeper. And speaking of something deeper, Miss Pseudo... Lucian grimaced and switched off the tape. We've heard enough. Yeah. Okay, Lucian. Clearly, you've heard more about this recording than just what you've played to me. It's tried to spare me my blushes of listening to my vice president getting down and dirty with secretary. What happened next? Avoid the bits I don't need to know. You don't need to hear the rest of it. The important question is, why so much curiosity about these particular alliances, if not because they could strengthen us against Rumberg? And that's not all. I found her resume on file, and there's a year-long gap between her finishing secretarial school and beginning her career. Normally this would have been looked into, but Miss Suno was hired before a background check could be completed. By one Peter Vecton. Okay. Just then there was a knock on the door. Livia opened it cautiously. Oh, hellfire and brimstone. Oh, hellfire and brimstone. We've got to maintain straight face here. Good morning, Mr. President. Mr. Gallard, I didn't realise you'd be in so early. Can I get you some coffee? Coffee would be great, actually, Miss Suna. Liv, thanks. Don't mind. You know I like mine. Extra hot, please. 1 sugar. Little dash of milk, thank you. Livia left to make the coffee. A few minutes later, she came back and served the coffee. That was my stalling tactic. I was expecting me and Lucian to have some conversation while she's making coffee. Lucian, what do? Do we confront her? Do we leave her? Are we going to get more evidence? Tell me something, Chief Strategist. Not sit here in silence while she makes a coffee, comes back and was still none the wiser. Please have a seat, Miss Suno, says Lucian, taking the reins. Oh, thank God. I'm the president here. I'm leaving it to you, Lucian. A good leader knows when to delegate. We can't all have skills in everything. Clearly, you're more versed in these affairs than I am. Lucian, I delegate responsibility of the challenging of the situation to you. I shall just be here to nod and scowl and sign anything that requires signing or making the final firing act. Channel my inner Vince McMahon. Livia sat. She looked puzzled. Is something the matter? Enough pretending. Your secret is out. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Peter has told me everything. So that sounds like we're addressing the the adultery side of things. This is evidence of the spying. You know perfectly well I don't want to reveal our hand too soon here. You know. I don't know. Yes, you do know. I don't know. What is that? You know. I don't, oh, for God's sake, you... Right. Think of my days of interview training. You were supposed to not present your challenge prematurely. You're supposed to get to your challenge once they've dug themselves into a grave, essentially. So before we, so I will play a bit dumb. Actually, you know perfectly well, Livia. Don't try to play dumb with us here. Olivia buried her face in her hands. I'm so sorry, Mr. President. I was foolish. And Peter was so nice to me. But it's over now. Nobody ever needs to know. That's not what the President means, Miss Suno. We're referring to you being an intelligence agent for Rumberg. Livia sat upright. She looked shocked. Pardon me, Mr. Gallard? But are you feeling all right? He's fine, Livia. What do you have to say for yourself? Mr. President, I understand if you don't want to keep me in my job, but why smear me with outlandish accusations? Miss Suno, indulge me for a moment. What were you doing in the year 1951? It's like a good cop, bad cop. Lucian is clearly the bad cop here. There's me, Mr. President, all very nice and... Oh, you know, I'll let you explain. You tell us. He's feeling perfectly fine. Don't worry about him. You to give us your version of events. Livia's face flushed. I reckon Lucian's probably got the wrong end of the stick here, you know. She looked shocked. She could be a good actor, though. She's a spy. Or she could be a spy. Spies are probably good actors. If you must know, I was working as a cigarette girl at Porto's. It's a Le Shaven saloon. I was saving up so I could afford my own place in Hallsword. Here's the proprietor's number if you need to double check. I believe her. Call me simple-minded here, but I'm liking to believe her. She scribbled a telephone number on a piece of paper. Lucian snatched it up. Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't want to. Eager to help David back in Benfey, asking Peter about my alliances. So many questions about what I do. That gives up that we've got a recording, and I don't want to give up that we've got a recording just yet. I can't remember what this was about, so yeah, this is the first thing that came to our mind. It was the fact that she was constantly asking questions. So we'll ask it. Well, why were you asking so many? Why have you been asking so many questions? Which is our PA or something, I suppose. But to tell the truth, Mr. Rain, I was hoping to run for office myself someday. I want to make a real difference in the world, like Miss Morgner or Miss Walder. But I guess I messed that up by getting involved with Peter. Now they're all just going to say I slipped my way to the top. And you're questioning Peter about Swordland's potential alliances? I told you I... Wait, that's why I didn't want to ask you. How do you know about that? Lucian's had enough of the peace model interview. And he's going straight for the challenge now. Peter, we had more extrication to do and having her dig a hole and stuff. You've gone straight to reveal our evidence. Bit premature there, Lucian, if you don't mind me saying. There was a loud pounding on the door. Peter barged in without waiting for an answer. He was unshaven and wore the same clothes as the night before. Oh, flipping hellfire. This is like an episode of Coronation Street. I came as soon as I heard the three of you were in here. And Tom, what the hell are you doing? I told you I had this under... Don't you dare! Sit down and shut up! I could have been rational and said Lucian already knew, but I'm sick of it! Sit down! Peter took a seat on the far end of the sofa. He looked over at Livia and noticed her troubled expression. God, why involve her? This is my mess. She did nothing wrong. Well, Peter, there is a small chance at this moment in time that she could be a spy. What? I have reason... She's still sat here. I have reason to believe she's been relaying information to Rumberg. Information that you leaked in your carelessness. Lucian rewound his tape and he played it again. Oh, now the tape's out even. There's no ambiguity now. Exhibit. I bring forth Exhibit LG1. Recording of conversation between one Peter Vecton and Olivia Suno, Your Honour. Press play. Thank you. As Peter listened, his eyes widened in disbelief. Lucian, you rat bastard! You've been bugging my office? We can't... Is this true? Well, where do you think they got the information from, Mr. President, you idiot? Courses of... It's not just... Recording just appeared out of nowhere? Obviously, we're going to have to back Lucian up here. For a good reason. Isn't that right, Lucian? What is the good reason that you've bugged my Vice President's office? Both Peter and Olivia were glaring at Lucian now. He looked unrepentant. I had noticed the Vice President's behaviour becoming increasingly erratic and unprofessional over the past months. I wanted to get to the root of the cause. That, in my book, is not the best reason to bug somebody's office. They're becoming a bit erratic and unprofessional. That's not... If you suspected that he was having it off with a spy, that would be a good validation. You could have just said that. Getting to the bottom of his erratic and unprofessional behaviour, when I'd already... Well, this was before I'd actually mentioned that I was going to take care of it, I think. I'm trying to get the timings right here. At some point, I did say I'd have a talk to him, myself. What if it was... Don't even go there. If Lucian ends up being the spy, right? I'm writing into the developers of this game, and I'm going to say to them, how could you do this to me? The only worst card you could have played is if you'd have made Sergei the spy. Then, I'd have... If this was a physical copy of the game, I'd have had a sacrificial burning of it on the bonfire. Sergei would never be the spy. I would say the same about Lucian, to be honest with you, but what if this is such a really good cover-up on his part? Could you imagine? Holy cow. So you wiretapped your own goddamn colleague? And for what? Have you been getting off on this, you pervert? Certainly not. I believe that along with the Rumberg whistleblower's admission that there is a spy in the palace and certain gaps in Miss Suno's resume, this tape makes a compelling case to investigate the Secretary for espionage. Whether or not the investigation yields positive results, Mr. Vecton ought to be held accountable for his willingness to divulge such sensitive information. He ought to stand trial, or at the very least resign. Peter's jaw dropped. Livia stood up. If I may, Mr. President, I have been paying attention to what goes on in the palace, not because I'm some sort of agent, but out of genuine interest. Hard as that may be for you to believe, Mr. Gallard. She scowled at Lucian, then turned back to me. And from what I've seen, this man has been attempting to undermine your Vice President at every turn, perhaps with the goal of replacing Peter himself. I'm going to swear now. Shit. Shit. What a decision I'm going to make in a minute. Holy... What if they're right? We have blindly trusted this Lucian fella with everything. He's Mr. Lucian Gallard. Everything he says is right. Oh, could you imagine the horror? Oh. Nonsense, we say blindly. Nonsense. Lucian's been nothing but loyal. On the dot. Turns up for my meetings. Never late. Never overstays his welcome. Always gives sage advice. Oh. This is ridiculous. Oh, I love this game and I hate it at the same time. Right, okay. I'm trying to say, we can't get involved in all this he said, she said, he might be, she might be, but we will. If this was real life, we would have to get into all this, wouldn't we? We'd have to sit there and actually have a long think. What if Lucian is the spy? What if he is? Peter's a bit stupid, a bit careless. Livia, a bit dopey. Bless her. She's not dopey, but, you know, she's just innocent. Played, you know, hooked in by the vice president's wicked ways. She does generally have an interest about politics. Everything they've said was completely true, and here Mr. President blindly ignored them, went with Lucian, and he ended up being the double agent. Something out of a movie. Oh. I mean, I'm going to go down the Lucian's been nothing but loyal, because he has. And if we were to cast doubt on that, it's because we're second-guessing ourselves. We're going to deal with things on face value at the moment. It's the simplest way to deal with things. Lucian, loyal. Peter, drunk. Sleeping around. Speaking out of turn in meetings. Just general buffoonery. I had concerns. I mean, I won't wiretap the guy, but nonetheless, I had concerns. Lucian might have gone about things maybe a bit overhand, you know, a bit over the top, but nonetheless, he had genuine concerns. When he mentioned Livia, even before the words came out of his mouth, I had concerns about Livia. She'd ask a lot of questions. I just kind of putting two together. Yeah, maybe you could be right there, Lucian. So yeah, he has been nothing but loyal thus far, on face value. Loyal to you? It's true. He never could stand me. Lucian frowned. You know, Peter, I'd hate to admit it, but even I couldn't stand you a couple of times. More than a couple of times. At times when I have needed a firm vice president to back me up on decisions, or just to have a listening ear, or to be there by my side in moments of need. Take the courthouse. Not the courthouse, the assembly. We went to the assembly. It's the day of the big vote for the constitutional reform. And where was Peter? Probably sleeping with Livia, because he was absent. Made his excuses why he wasn't there. Oh, I was here somewhere in the assembly. You just didn't see me. I'm sorry, Peter. No, Peter, I'm not having it. I'm not having it. The more I think about it, the worse it becomes for you, actually. My personal misgivings about Mr. Vecton aside, I would never do anything to harm this administration. Mr. Vecton, on the other hand, has at best committed adultery and at worst delivered state secrets straight into enemy hands. Who could I believe? I have a feeling, I mean, I would love to play on. This could be my last decision of the day. I feel drained. This game is fantastically good, but it takes it out of you. And I think it's worse for me. I mean, it might not be worse for me, but I'm assuming it's worse for me because I get so engrossed in all the role-playing and all the character stories and, you know, putting myself in there. I feel like I am Mr. Rain right now. I am Mr. Rain. I put my bandana on because I didn't have a fedora hat. And that's what makes it worse. I get so heavily invested. I feel like I've been flipping wounded here. Lucian, can I speak to you alone for a moment, please? Peter and Livia exchanged worried glances before exiting the office. Right. What are you going to do, Mr. President? I'm going to wait for the options to come up because right now I don't know what I'm going to do. Investigate Livia. You're the strategist here. I ought to fire you for surveilling Peter. I won't play into your hands. Holy cow, what the hell? I think we should investigate her. At least then we can assure ourselves that she's not a spy. We can't assure ourselves of that until she's been properly investigated. All we've got is her twinkling eye and her sob story. If she's a spy, she could be a damn good actress. Or actor, I suppose, if you want to be gender neutral. We have to investigate it. We have to do. It's the most obvious thing to do. It's the only thing we can do. We have evidence, you know, reasonable suspicion. Technically speaking, well, at least in this country, reasonable suspicion is all you need to make an arrest. I think we've got more than enough reasonable suspicion. So lock her up, investigate, and if she's innocent, we'll release her. Happy days. We can be veiled of the fact that she's not a spy. By which point Lucian has unravelled his master plan. We're going to investigate her. Commence the investigation. We need to find out the truth. Lucian breathed a sigh of relief. I appreciate your trust in me. I'm going to tell you this now, Lucian. If there's an option for this, I'm saying it. Don't make me regret this. Heavens help us all if you do. I will not be responsible for my actions. And Mr. Vecton? What will you do about his willingness to compromise Swordland security at the drop of a pencil skirt? Way to twist the situation. Holy cow. Holy flipping cow. That is a bad way to twist the situation. I'll settle with that. I'll settle that with him personally. I'll decide that once we have the results. I don't think we can wait until we have the results. I think the results are irrelevant. He's already done the act. Even if she is found not to be a spy, the fact is she could have been a spy. There was certainly reasonable suspicion that she could have been a spy. Peter divulged things to her and, has committed adultery as well. His position is indeed untenable. So I'm assuming I'll settle that with him personally option. Not I'll sweep it under the carpet option. It's not quite clear that, but I'm assuming that's what it means. I don't want to wait. I want to deal with it. I know that's what I mean, Martian Eyes. It sounds like we're still covering it up because I'll deal with that personally. Can anybody Google this or find this out for me, please? I don't want to know the outcome. Is it possible to... you can't. How can you Google this? I don't understand. You can't even Google it easily. I want to know what this means. Or maybe we should, or maybe we have to wait. 2 leads to the most direct ways to settle it, or way to settle it. As in fire him. I'm firing him. If option 2 leads to me being able to fire him and not sweep it under the carpet, then I want to fire him. Okay, that's what we're doing then. I'm sorry, Peter. We can't. This is beyond friendship now. Very well. Just keep in mind you may need him to shoulder the blame for this. Lucian adjusted his tie. Is that a tie of victory, Lucian? This is not a moment to be satisfied. This is a car crash. I'll apologise to Miss Suno and tell her this has all been a misunderstanding. We can't have her running away during the investigation. Running away? Lock her up! Can't the laws of our land put her in flipping Anstell Rock? I kind of do feel that he did overstep a little bit here. And don't forget, we had a talk with him over chess, and he does have some kind of a history, but he didn't divulge it all to us, did he? Remember? I don't think he divulged everything to us. So he's still got some kind of past that we don't know about, but we know a little bit about. No, I'll do it myself. She's too suspicious of you. That is very true also, so we'll do it ourselves. Very well, sir. Lucian gave a slight bow as he left the office. I sat by myself for a while, wondering what exactly I had set into motion. What I set into motion? No, what Peter has set into motion. Let's reframe that for a start. We are simply trying to mop up this mess. If it's hit the news, it's game over. Radical. Oh, God. My heart was in my mouth for a second there. According to a new footage, Governor Bron of the Special Zone was seen unabashedly boasting about his administration's ongoing resettlement policies, a chilling euphemism for an assault on the rights and dignity of Bluedish residents. As part of his policies against BFF, thousands of Bluedish civilians were apprehended, while hundreds were tortured and tens were killed. Under the guise of safety, this regime perpetuates an atmosphere of fear and division in Swordland and Bergia. These heartless measures only serve to further alienate and marginalise the Bluedish community, tearing at the social fabric of our region. We condemn Governor Bron's callousness and demand an immediate end to these reprehensible policies. According to reports on the ground, the wider Bluedish community is getting restless about the ongoing discrimination and are increasingly organising rallies around the region despite the Governor's harsh and often violent reactions. We salute the Bluedish community and their fight for equality. And more about the Governor Bron's resettlement here. Lilius Graf voiced her apprehension. Okay, very good. Whew. The growth line's gone up a little bit, thankfully. Right. I think we're done. It's near enough 10:30. Oh! The BFF grand operation ends in failure. Suzerain incident. A significant setback due to the interference of the governor and the independent actions of the Bergen security forces. The meticulously planned raid faced substantial delays due to logistical issues, allowing the BFF leaders to be forewarned and prepared for our arrival. Consequently, a fierce firefight erupted in the border town of Suzerain, resulting in devastating consequences for the civilian population. Tragically, numerous innocent lives were lost, and the town has suffered extensive damage from explosions caused by the BFF militants. Holy cow, leaders have all escaped. To Rumberg! No, it's not me. It's my nephew. That's quite a catastrophe. Quite a catastrophe indeed. Right, what is this next option? Results of the affair scandal. Political briefing meeting. Oh. It's 10:30. I want to continue, but I'm just thinking of time. I've got to go make myself a cup of tea, get ready for work tomorrow, and do some more Three Kingdoms tutorial vids. We're going to leave on a cliffhanger here. I'm going to leave on a cliffhanger. I want to. You know what? I could probably continue to play this till we finish. If this was an afternoon or I could probably stream this for another 3 hours quite happily. But I'm going to leave it on a cliffhanger. What are the results of the scandal? Political briefing? Who gives a crap about that? Well, political briefing? Forget that. What's the results of this scandal? Yeah, this stream and the assembly stream when we were putting our constitution through, I think those two sessions were pretty good, pretty high drama. Yeah, we'll leave it on a slight cliffhanger on this one. Right then, so in the next stream of this, which could be tomorrow. Tomorrow's a football day, but Tuesday's football often gets cancelled, and if it's not cancelled, football is usually later than 7. So if I finish work at 3:30, and get my stuff done, I could be streaming for about 4:30, 5 at the latest, and get a couple of hours in. So I'll keep you posted, but I quite fancy diving back into this tomorrow, because I don't want to leave it too long for the cliffhanger. I want to find out what's going on. So yeah, I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted in due course on that one. But yeah, thank you for your assistance this evening. Some tough decisions to make today. But yeah, I mean, I think this is an absolutely fantastic game. It's been recommended many times through the years, because it's been out a little while, and I've always been like, yeah, I'll get to it, yeah. But the ultimate tipping point, I can't remember when it was, when I finally decided to play it. Was it a party stream? Was it the Christmas party stream? Or it was some stream where I decided finally to play, and I'm flipping glad I did, because I'm absolutely loving it. But anyway, go forth, enjoy the rest of your evenings, the rest of your days, the rest of your afternoons, and hopefully see you when we're back at more of this, hopefully tomorrow. But yeah, time for me to go downstairs now, have a breather, and get a cup of mint tea. So until next time, folks, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Whew.